Daniel Boone. The name whispers on the wind, carried through the ages like a ghostly echo, a whisper of the frontier, a call to the wild, a symbol of the uncharted and the unknown, of untamed lands and the echo of musket fire. He is a figure shrouded in myth and legend, a man whose very existence seems to blur the lines between reality and folklore. A phantom of the American wilderness. Some say he was a giant, towering over the landscape like a colossus, a man of immense strength and stature. Others whisper of his eyes, sharp as flint, able to see through the deepest shadows of the forest. His gaze could pierce the darkness, revealing secrets hidden within the dense foliage. The truth, as always, lies somewhere between legend and reality. Daniel Boone was a man, flesh and blood, but his life was a tapestry woven with threads of adventure, hardship, and an unyielding spirit. He faced countless dangers, from wild animals to hostile terrain, and yet he pressed on, driven by a relentless desire to explore. He was a man born to venture into the unknown, to push beyond the edges of the known world and carve his name into the very heart of the wilderness. His legacy is one of courage, determination, and the indomitable human spirit. Born in Pennsylvania in 1734, Daniel Boone's early life was a far cry from the adventures that would come to define him. He was a farmer's son, raised in the quiet rhythms of rural life. But even as a young man, Boone felt the pull of the wild. The forest called to him, a siren song of freedom and adventure. He honed his skills as a hunter and woodsman, learning to read the language of the forest, to track prey, and to survive in the unforgiving embrace of nature. It was during these formative years that the seeds of his pioneering spirit were sown, seeds that would soon blossom into a life of exploration and conquest. The year was 1767, a time when the American colonies were still under British rule, and the spirit of exploration was alive and well. The American frontier beckoned, a vast and untamed wilderness stretching westward, promising riches and adventure to those brave enough to seek them. This land was a canvas of endless possibilities, where dreams could be painted with the brush of courage and determination. For Daniel Boone, the call of the unknown proved irresistible. He was a man driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to carve out his own destiny in the wild, uncharted territories. He had heard whispers of a land called Kentucky, a land of fertile valleys, abundant game, and untold beauty. Stories of this paradise spread like wildfire, igniting the imaginations of many who longed for a new beginning. It was a land of promise, but also of peril. The beauty of the landscape was matched only by the dangers that lurked within its shadows, from treacherous terrain to unpredictable weather. Native American tribes, fiercely protective of their ancestral hunting grounds, posed a constant threat. These tribes had lived on the land for generations and were determined to defend it against any encroachment. The journey would be long and arduous, fraught with danger at every turn. Rivers to cross, mountains to climb, and dense forests to navigate made the expedition a true test of endurance and resolve. But Boone, undeterred, gathered a company of like-minded men, their hearts filled with a thirst for adventure and their eyes fixed on the western horizon. Together they embarked on a journey that would become legendary, driven by the hope of discovering a new world and the promise of a better life. The expedition set out, their path leading them through dense forests, across treacherous rivers, and into the heart of the unknown. These were the Long Hunters, men who ventured into the wilderness for months, even years, seeking their fortune in furs and land. Boone, with his innate knowledge of the woods and his unwavering determination, quickly emerged as their natural leader. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The Long Hunters faced hardship and danger with grim determination. They battled the elements, endured hunger and exhaustion, and fought off attacks from hostile tribes. Through it all, Boone's spirit never wavered. He pushed his men forward, his eyes fixed on the prize Kentucky, the land of their dreams. Section 5. Bloodshed in the Bluegrass. The struggle for Kentucky. Boone and his men finally reached Kentucky, a land even more breathtaking than they had imagined. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with countless dangers and hardships, yet the sight that greeted them made every struggle worthwhile. Rolling hills blanketed in emerald green stretched as far as the eye could see. The landscape was a painter's dream, with its undulating terrain and vibrant hues. It was a land that promised prosperity and a fresh start. Crystal-clear rivers snaked through the valleys, teeming with fish. These waterways were not just beautiful, they were vital lifelines, offering sustenance and a means of travel. The rivers sparkled under the sun, inviting and full of promise. But this paradise was not unclaimed. Native American tribes had lived here for generations, their lives deeply intertwined with the land. They knew every tree, every river, and every hidden path. Native American tribes, who had long called this land home, fought fiercely to protect their territory. They saw the arrival of Boone and his men as an invasion, a threat to their way of life. The tension was palpable, and conflict seemed inevitable. The struggle for Kentucky had begun. It was a brutal and relentless conflict, marked by guerrilla warfare and surprise attacks. Both sides were determined, and neither was willing to back down. Bloody skirmishes erupted with terrifying regularity. The forest, once a place of serene beauty, became a theater of war. Each side suffered heavy losses, and the violence seemed to have no end. Boone and his men, outnumbered and often outmaneuvered, fought with the desperation of men fighting for their very survival. They were driven by the dream of a new life, but the reality was a constant battle for existence. The wilderness, once a source of awe and wonder, became a battleground, stained with the blood of both white settlers and Native Americans. The dream of Kentucky came at a high price, paid in the lives of those who fought for it. In 1778, tragedy struck. Boone, leading a party of settlers through the wilderness, was captured by Shawnee warriors. Taken to their village, he faced an uncertain fate. The Shawnee, known for their fierce fighting prowess, could have easily ended his life. But Boone was a shrewd observer of human nature. He learned their language, adopted their customs, and earned their grudging respect. When the opportunity arose, Boone escaped, making a daring dash through the wilderness, his heart pounding with every step. He had stared death in the face and emerged, against all odds, victorious. Boone's exploits in Kentucky made him a legend in his own time. Stories of his adventures, embellished with each telling, spread like wildfire through the colonies. He became a symbol of the American frontiersman, rugged, resourceful, and fearless in the face of danger. His life, a blend of fact and fiction, captured the imagination of a nation hungry for heroes. He was a man who embodied the spirit of westward expansion, a pioneer who helped to forge a new nation from the wilderness. Daniel Boone's later years were marked by both triumph and tragedy. He continued to explore the frontier, blazing trails and establishing settlements. But he also faced personal setbacks, losing land and wealth in a series of unfortunate ventures. Yet through it all, his spirit remained unbroken. He died in 1820 at the age of 85, a legend whose name would forever be synonymous with the American frontier. His legacy lived on, inspiring generations of Americans to seek adventure, to embrace the unknown, and to forge their own paths in the world. Daniel Boone's story is a timeless one, a tale of adventure, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of exploration. He was a man shaped by the wilderness, a man who lived and breathed the freedom and the danger of the frontier. His name, forever etched in the annals of American history, continues to evoke a sense of awe and wonder. He was a true American original, a pioneer who helped to shape the destiny of a nation. And as long as there are those who yearn for adventure, who seek the thrill of the unknown, the legend of Daniel Boone will continue to endure.